Waverly, or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
The wait is over. It's Truck Month at Anderson Ford, which means big selection and even bigger savings on Ford F-150s. Like lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for only $195 per month. The truck that's built to work hard and play hard. Another reason you'll experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008409. Previous service letter. $195 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year, 8,500 with tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Way out there where the sun comes up under the big red sky, I do life the way I love, with family by my side. I feel home with me, no matter where I go.
Proud of where we're from, excited for where we're going. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Hi, Charlie Stone again, and Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln will be joining me to talk about the Honda Spring event. Andy, I know this is a big event for you. Please tell us all about it.
I want to start out by thanking the Lincoln car buyers for an incredible year in 2025. It's just been announced that Honda of Lincoln is Nebraska's only Honda dealer to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2025.
Wow, that's great, Andy. How many times now have you earned that President's Award?
It's a total of 20 times now, Charlie. The Honda Spring event is truly a big event for us. We have incredible savings on every remaining 2025 and every new 2026. Special low rates, long-term financing, and special lease rates.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Old School on this Friday? A little chilly. Kind of like Nebraska's three-point shooting, but after the NCAA let down. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison, is on the ones and twos. We are old school. We are brought to you by Graham Tire, 75 years of excellent service. They've taken care of me, and they will take care of your car or truck needs as well.
Go get it done. It's nice out.
Yeah.
I see some people driving out there. Go get your tires checked. I saw one lady with a oversized load, and her tires were screaming.
You know, the thing is that, sometimes when I got a older daughter, so, I got to go try to check the tires.
Yeah.
So
make sure she's changing the oil.
So when we were going to car shopping, you always ask how much tread's left on the tire. And they were like, oh, a lot. So I just brought the penny out. Didn't work. Oh, yeah. So that was like my Big Daddy moment. That I felt like I was actually doing my job. But before we get into Hour 1 of Old School is brought to you by the Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is based out of Hallam, Nebraska, and they offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pan windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more information at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. We appreciate their support for the first hour and obviously Graham Tire for all 3 hours as well. Now we can get busy into it.
How you feeling, Jay?
You know what, to be honest with you, look, like any tournament, it's no different. Every sport. I mean, you could look at NBA, you could look at the NFL, you could look at college football playoffs. Obviously, March Madness. Teams that are playing well and quote unquote hot are just no matter what are hard out. And I think Iowa had found something, and people I felt like Iowa was getting not their just due. I think they're a tough team. I think their coach is really good. I still think Nebraska, if playing well, is the better team. They did not play well for too long of spurts at times last night.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing about Iowa, look, I just felt they played better. They beat us. Tip your hat to them.
Ben McCollum's a good coach. Whether you like him or not.
They got good players, and they played good. Sturts played good. Everybody else played well off them. They shot the lights out. Give them credit. Iowa played a really, really good game. They played a really good game against Florida to get there, and you got to tip your hat to them. It bothers me that they lost. The whole Iowa thing, I never fed into that.
Really?
No.
Drives me up a wall. I'm not gonna lie.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't like Iowa. I don't like anybody that we play. I think the dynamics of it is different. I think it's going to be, back and forth for here some time, and that's great. I think it's a competitive, rivalry, so forth and so on. I just felt like, sure, would you rather lost Iowa in the round of 32? Sweet 16. This is what you come for. To win everything, you have to be willing to lose everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it happens when you play big time sports. But I think, for Nebraska, look, it's a letdown maybe because they had opportunities. They had a lot of open shots. They just weren't able to hit it, and Iowa hit theirs. I think it came down to, obviously, their bench outplayed our bench.
Yep.
And that's what happens when you, quote unquote, get upset. But the thing about Iowa coming into the tournament where people didn't really do enough homework is that they started off the season pretty good. They were proud, and I think McCollum had them a little bit more of on tight reins. He didn't loosen the reins up until they went on that losing streak. And then everybody focused on that. Then they had an about face, changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive efficiency had an uptick. And then, sure, they finished the season on a little bit higher note, played pretty decent in the Big Ten tournament. And obviously through the NCAA tournament, they're on a hot, they're rolling. And that's all with Sturts playing an extended amount of minutes. I think he's played
40 minutes in the game versus Nebraska.
Right. So that's eight games in a row of 40 minutes.
Only 7 minutes throughout the entire tournament. So far, he's been on the bench.
And he's willing to play a secondary role, but he's controlling the flow of the offense, and he knows exactly what McCollum wants, and they respond really well to him, and Nebraska got beat. I hate it for this team because I think they, had a chance to, they had a magical year. They had a great year, but this could have been a really, legendary type of year. And it's still in Nebraska basketball history that this is the best team ever. Legendary year is just a letdown that where, you had some good shots. You weren't able to hit them, and guys that usually would hit, some shots and play a little bit better weren't able to. But, Iowa played their best game. I mean, look, every big time shot that they needed to hit, whether it's the one before half, Nebraska has gets a 3-point lead. They come back and hit a 3. Nebraska has a 5-point lead. They come back and hit a 3.
It's 46-43 at half.
Right.
I mean, you had one of the better starts you could hope for. Burke was getting offensive rebounds. You were scoring off of them. And you look up at the end of half, and it's like Iowa was, for the most part, swing for swing.
Yeah.
In that first half. It was good basketball.
It was a great contested game. And, they just were able to outlast us a little bit. And they didn't hit a cold streak. We hit a cold streak. Even though we were scoring at the end of the half, it was at the free throw line. We went like 3 minutes without a field goal. That's worrisome. You can't do that. In Iowa, you want to get them in. You got to score field goals against Iowa, not just threes. I felt like we probably shot too many threes.
Towards the end, definitely.
Towards the end. And obviously that's when you're a little bit of desperation. But you got to think, we hit the 3. Frager hits the 3. We're down by 3. Timeout. And then we give them a 3-point play. There was 58 seconds left.
Yeah.
You come down, get a stop. Or even if they, you foul them and they get, you're down by 5, you still potentially can get 2 more possessions, and you need 1 or 2 stops there to tie the game. That's what the difference in this game is. Obviously, you end up losing by 6, and
they're so valuable when you're playing Iowa. Those possessions, like man, this is what me and Austin and on the post game talked about yesterday. Like, it's your 3rd time playing them. You know how they're going to do it. They're going to get you into a situation. And I think this is how Iowa, good teams, able to play great teams like Florida and take them down, is they're going to just limit possessions. So when you get towards the end of the game and it's getting close, that's the gray area Iowa lives and thrives on, and that's how they put this run together. That's what they live for, those last few minutes. And then when we were, shooting threes and we were kind of starting to get cold, it's so hard to catch your rhythm back because Iowa was going to wait 30-plus seconds into the shot clock. You're starting to look, 5 minutes left, but you're starting to count on your hands. Like, how many more possessions are we going to get here? Knowing how Iowa wants to play basketball. And unfortunately, that's where they got us in, exactly where they're comfortable. And they were able to take advantage.
And they were able to hit some big shots.
Oh, 100%.
And that's also the problem, because then it puts more internal pressure on you, not the external.
Well, they lean on Sturts to set up, to make the shot or set up those big time shots. And again, that's where they're comfortable having Sturts. Even if he's 40 minutes into the game, they're not worried about him losing his legs.
No, and they let him play at his pace early. They let him get in the paint easily. Too much last night. And, look, and they still had a chance to win. And so, look, when you have Burke that goes 0 for 4 from 3, Rink 0 for 7, and Sam 0 for 3, that normally doesn't happen. Yeah, you had really good 3-point shooting performance from Price and Braden Frager, and then Jamarcus was 2 of 4, but you would like a little bit of that, and you throw in Kel Jacobson 0 for 2 as well. So I think it's just one of those things that if there's a big thing that you look, the difference in the game was, especially in the second half, getting outscored by 9. I'd probably say the turnovers and a little bit too much lax of it. You saw the one where I think Price had it, and they came and were kind of diving at the ball. You got to be stronger with the ball. It led to a 2-point play. Those are huge because I think of it as you're getting closer to the free throw line in the paint, and when they're Nebraska's running their action, and you turn the ball over, that's a huge turnover because you didn't get a shot opportunity with one of your best players and decision makers, and then you gave up 2 points. So it's a momentum shift and a 4-point swing, right? And so those always seem to go their way, and unfortunately, I think Iowa really started kind of getting in Nebraska's brain a little bit, really started moving the ball crisp, a couple times. I think they moved the ball beautifully one time. Remind me of Michigan State when Nebraska went to Michigan State a couple of years ago, and they just couldn't rotate fast enough because the ball was moving so quick.
They only had 5 turnovers. It tells you how clean it was.
This one shot, but it still wears you out because you didn't guard them. They just missed the shot. So, you tip your hat to Iowa, but then also I think, when you look at it, you can't minimize the great year that Fred and those guys had, and they have nothing to be, down in the dumps at. You should be more than proud of yourself. I'm gonna tell you this: it's for this team, Fred got more than the max out of this team, and I can't speak for him, but I'm sure it's one of his best coaching jobs that he's ever done.
Yeah, you can look at some of those Iowa State teams, but this is up there considering. I mean, for how real the numbers are, I think it's always a little bit gray, but most likely the cheapest roster out of everybody that was left in the Sweet 16. I mean, he did more with less.
Yeah.
And you just look where this team was. Again, I think it was like bottom, third from last in the Big Ten was preseason projection. Season
14.
finalist for top
14.
4 for the Coach of the Year award. Like what he's done is incredible. This loss is gonna hurt, but you don't want to take away like this was an unprecedented run. And if you would have told Husker fans, leave the Iowa part out of it, that hey, you'll make it to the Sweet 16. Again, everyone's gonna be gung ho and saying what a legendary year for Nebraska.
Last year at this time, if you said, well, Nebraska's waiting to go play the crown.
Yeah.
If you said Nebraska's going to make the Sweet 16 next year after not even making the Big Ten tournament, and you said that to 100 people, there might have been 4 that have been like, yeah, I believe you. So they've came a long way, and it's good that it stings because that means the standard is different. That means the expectations are different, and they need to be emotionally not emotional, right? And so, yeah, he outcoached the talent, but also I think he coached the talent to the maximum that they could be, and probably taking this team to places that they didn't even think they could have. Because I said it yesterday. I said that it's a beautiful, profile in coaching when he knows his roster, he knows his players, he's invested in his roster and invested in his players, and he put them in the best position to be successful, to the point that it's the ultimate letdown that you lost to one of the hottest teams in this Sweet 16 and you had an opportunity to go to the Great 8. That's what is a great, not only Fred, but the whole staff. And so, look, man, it's just one of those games. I mean, your best players just weren't able to hit, and it wasn't by, lack of effort. They just weren't on, and you got to tip your hat to Iowa. They're able to move on, and Nebraska's just got to, deal with the sting. Look, I always say like this, it's going to sting all the way until the finale. It's final, and you have a national champion. Well, then the players, because there's nothing you can do after that. And it's good for it to hurt. It should hurt because that means that you care. There's nothing wrong with it. And you should be frustrated. You should be mad. You should be hurt and thinking, what if? That's just part of sports, man. And that's what happens when you play big-time sports and you play in big-time tournaments. It hasn't been done around here, and who knows when, and realistically, and done to this magnitude. You've climbed so many, mountaintops to where people never would thought you'd be there. But I think this brand of basketball with Fred and company, I think it's really opened some eyes and hopefully some doors for him in recruiting. And I know people want to, always look at the roster and the money and stuff. I mean, that's like an easy excuse, I think, because there's a lot of guys that spend a lot of money on rosters that watched Nebraska play last night. That there's, and like, look at Kentucky. They paid a guy for that transfer from Arizona to Kentucky $2 million, and he played like 21 games or something. It was something like, it was like only played 10 games. And so
same thing with Kansas. They spent a ton of money. They were out early. I think they lose in the second round of 32. Yeah.
And they lost St. John's. And you look at Houston with Calvin Sampson. They don't have a lot of financial backing, but they're able to make it work and really recruit and develop players and have a culture of winning and what it takes. And that's what Fred and these guys are going to do. Not saying, look, they have earned and deserves more financial support.
But it's a good sign that that development tracks.
Everybody that's really stuck to the kind of process and had in the plan that Fred and company is, set out for, has done really well. Even Janowski, that's up at St. Thomas. Look how well he's playing.
Yeah.
Look at, Jamarcus Lawrence leaving and coming back. Look at how better he's got. Look at Burke. Not only changing his body, but he was a better player, more consistent player than last year.
People were harsh after that first year when he transferred out of UCLA here, and people, not sure like what was the plan here. Give him some more time in the system, and he's a completely different guy in just year 2.
Yeah, he reshaped his body, and then obviously became a better player, got better. Rink was coming off an injury, but he was very diligent. Fred said that, and then obviously look at the development of Frager. So, they have a plan for it, and they're able to move on and do some really good things and go from there. And next year, unfortunately for Fred and company, there is no time off. You have some guys that are seniors graduating. You got to, let Price work through his deal. You got to probably re-recruit some guys on the roster, and then you got to go re-recruit the recruits that you already have either committed or maybe you feel like you have in your front or back pocket.
On the bright side, NIL exists now for the Price Sanford situation.
Sure.
Which he's got to still figure out what works best for him, of course.
And
But
he
you have leverage.
Yeah, and that's great. But you still have to go in the portal, period. And, look, I'm sure Fred has such a good relationship with these guys. They're out in constant communication. Price understands and we're coming here with Fred and knows that if he's going to play college basketball, everything being equal, unless somebody comes and offers 3x what Nebraska can pay him, is the best place for him. And he'll be in the best position to improve his draft stock, or if he gets a good, pre-draft NBA grade, he can go to the NBA. So those are good problems to have. Now it's going to be really interesting, I think, with the new, assuming that financial backing NIL-wise, right? And obviously, knowing the notoriety-wise that you can really step into some gyms and talk to some players and coaches that you maybe weren't able to a year or two ago. What this next year and this next portal class or next, class coming in is going to look like, along with, do you get Connor Sejan back, right? Because he maybe got a medical red shirt or has more eligibility. You got your boy Oogie back, right? And then you throw in, the Braden Fragers and all that. It's going to be interesting to see what he does, because I think right now, experience in PBA, knowing, who Fred is on a national, basis. Now, I'm talking about from a recruit standpoint. I think it really opens up some things for Nebraska, not only for next year, but for the years to come.
Oh, 100%. It's a good track record of guys that have, had real growth in their development here. And then obviously you're on the main stage a lot more and you got eyes on it. And the basketball looks good. I mean, when you watch Nebraska basketball, I think there's a lot of guys that can see themselves in that system. It's very free flowing, and if you're a guy that's going to be a good ball handler and take care of the basketball, like, you'll fit into that system perfectly. So I think it's just tough. You look at the field of like everyone that's in this too, and it sets well for where Nebraska truly was this year and why I think they'll develop it. You just look at the rest of the bracket, like in the Elite Eight, obviously you lost to Iowa, but who's playing them is a number 3 Illinois team, seeded number 3, a team that we split the series with. And you look on the other end, you see Michigan, who's favored to beat Alabama later today at 6:30. A team that we play close to without 2 of our top leading scorers. You go look at Purdue, a team that, again, we were pretty close with. The Big Ten was good this year. And when you really look at the losses that Nebraska had, and then you go look at the tournament and see who's all playing well, who's still in the mix, it's tough to lose to Iowa, but it feels about right. Like, this was a good year for the Big Ten, and it says even more about Nebraska.
Yeah, and you had 3, on display last night. And obviously, unfortunately for Nebraska, unfortunately for you had to play, you would like to see 3 play you see Nebraska play somebody else, Iowa play somebody else.
Right.
And then, move on. And you saw like you said, the Illinois, the way what they did to the odds-on home, hometown favorite in Houston, dismantle them from start to finish. And so, look, Big Ten is moving on up, basketball-wise, just like they did football. People need to be believers. Nebraska's well on their way, and so it's nothing but positive. You can be encouraged and 1,000% positive where Nebraska basketball is, and especially where they came from, and then where they're going, with the understanding that they lost a huge opportunity. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's all positive, and, nobody's hurting more than the players and the staff and the coaches, because it's a magical run. You don't, I'm watching, I think, the baseball team right there, or a baseball team. I think is that who they're playing? Is that Indiana? No.
Oh, I can't see what you're looking at.
Well, they're over there at the Hampton Inn, but they don't, you never get on those buses, Harrison, at any point. And I'm talking about even when I was playing for the Houston Texans, okay, when we had the worst offensive line in NFL history. I never, ever got on a bus not thinking and not wanting and not thinking of a way or like knowing we're going to win. Never. And that's also, I'm going to go on and get it like a little bit. Like, I know my man Jake Sorensen was hurting.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But see, here's the problem. When you breathe negativity in sports, I'm a big believer in this. Big believer. And maybe it's because I was just so, I was blessed to be at Nebraska. We were winning all the time because I was spoiled. And this is what Coach Osborne used to tell us, right?
Well, there's a big part of it. I'm a big believer in the manifest.
What you bring
say
it to life, though.
Yeah.
You're worried about Iowa. What if we lose to Iowa and all that? It's, it just sometimes comes into fruition. But when you go out there, it's like, we're gonna win, we're gonna find it. Yeah, Iowa's tough. They're good. It's gonna be a dogfight, but we will win. We're saying the same thing, but I ain't never thinking about losing. And so I think hopefully the fan base and look, and I know people are texting it. I'm not telling you to go to a game and have your head buried in the sand. But I'm saying your mindset has to change. If this basketball season hasn't showed you that you have to show up to the movie and write your own review, honest review every single game, then nothing will change you, because this team exceeded expectations. And they met their expectations and probably exceeded their own internal expectations. But to go where they were and end up where they ended up at last night is like we have here. We have a couple of texts here. Dan from Canopy, he says a historic season. They made more shots than Nebraska, and that's really what it comes down to. The big shots they made, and it wasn't by their star players.
Yeah, it's the bench players.
Yeah.
We mentioned this, he had one guy off the bench, freshman, who's averaging just around 5 points. He comes in, he gives you, I think, 19, 18 points.
But that's a team, though, right? They needed to step up. They didn't play.
They play 8 deep.
They didn't play Banks, right? So they're 8. So what? Their 7 and 8 was better than ours. So they didn't play Banks. They played the freshman. I think his name is Barth or something like that. And he averaged 5. He scored like 15 or 16 points.
Yep.
And then when we played here at PBA, Combs was averaging like 6 points, and he had 18. And so
Sage stepped up big moments for Iowa yesterday.
Yeah, so it's just part of it, man. And we feel for you.
I thought, listen, I was telling this to Austin, as much as, like, again, that kind of was unfortunate then the year on that. Only one team gets to finish on a high note.
Only one team is going to be happy at the end of the year.
So, the odds are that you're not going to come by onto the sunset. There's just going to be a point where that road ends until you make that magical run and you win it all. But like me, been doing the basketball postgame shows for quite a while now, and at least we got to talk about wins. You know how many times you're coming in here, and it's like we're not even set to go to the Big Ten tournament, and we're talking about we lost to Minnesota at home, and it's like, welcome all 10 listeners. At least people gave a damn this year. And again, it shows the rise of expectations that at least it's a talking point. And if people are upset, at least that means they cared. I can't, the Husker fans have always been loyal, but they've been silently loyal, some of them, because the arena was always pretty full. But again, it was always kind of tough to talk about a team whose expectations were dead before the season even ended. And this is such a radical difference from when we started doing this. So at least it was a joy to cover for a large majority of the season as opposed to years prior.
Yeah, it's been great, all in all facets. And so, let them enjoy it. I mean, obviously they're going to go through a plethora of emotions when they get back, and then they'll have to move on forward. So anyways, we'll take a quick break. We're going to answer all your texts, and we'll continue to evaluate this Nebraska game and where they go from here. Spring game tomorrow, and a lot of recruits coming in. I saw that Mike Rule said that 50 recruits are coming in. So a big weekend. Encourage everybody to go out and check out the spring game. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Range thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Take your operation to the next level. Right now at Landmark Implement, take advantage of special financing on model year 2019 through 2025 John Deere tractors, sprayers, and combines. Take advantage of a 12-month fixed interest waiver, followed by John Deere Financial standard rates, or choose from multiple split rate offers with approved credit. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison, old school, 1040 O Street. Breaking down all things Nebraska against Iowa, 77-71. Our ugly second cousin end up beating us in a game of horse once again in the family reunion.
Hideous cousin.
Yeah, hideous, right? Don't take showers, breast stink, all that stuff. But get to your text here. There's one text I got on my phone. Harrison, I want your opinion. But with about 5 minutes left, when Iowa, I think, maybe took their first lead, it looked like, okay, there was like a little bit of defeatist attitude. Did you see anything? See any of that? Felt like they're like, oh, here we go again. I felt like they were comfortable with the challenge until the scoreboard was not in their favor.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw like, oh man, here we go. We're set up to lose. You know, maybe they just got tight and started to get a little bit nervous. You know, I kind of mentioned it, like taking a lot of threes. It felt like Iowa was saying thank you every time we launched another one, and it's
When you
like
didn't make it.
Yeah, and at one point, you know, it's like we have a lead. It feels like Iowa's coming close. Go inside and attack them because you know towards the end there, Iowa hit big time shots at the very end, but honestly, it's not like they were just lights out hitting three after three after three. Like we had some opportunities to get in there, and it just felt like we were happy trading threes, trying to like really separate. And it's, you know, I just feel like they got a little bit tight and they didn't trust going through their operations enough and taking that first three that was open as opposed to keep working for the better shot.
Yeah. It's looked a little different, but I think it's just, you know, part of the game. And then, you know, I think if a shot or two goes in, I think that totally changes. You know, it's kind of you get in that mode. We're like, man, we're getting some good shots. We're getting our good players some shots. Nobody can hit. You're like,
Like, it's the Iowa thing too. It's like not only are you on a cold stretch, it's like you're gonna miss, and then you're gonna have to probably wait a good 30 plus seconds into the Iowa shot clock. And then if you miss that one, well, now you got to watch another Iowa possession where you're going to be playing defense.
And they had a couple big offensive rebounds, but I just think it's more shots weren't falling, so that was probably a little bit. You know, there sometimes just don't go in. So
that's how Iowa gets you.
Yeah. Ben says here, he says a tough one to swallow, but at least a bunch of them have another chance to try again. Someday that won't be the case. And, you know, and that's one thing is like, I think Burke and I think maybe Braden Frager said the same thing is that, you know, you won't be able to play with some of these guys again, you know, and, you know, you sometimes when you don't win, or I always say actually when you win it, win it all, I'm just talking football, you wish you could tee it up with the same guys one more time because a season, when you have a successful season or any season, you go through a lot of adversity and stuff that you don't even hear about on the radio or in the, you know, on the internet or anything like that. You grow close together. You spend a lot of time with each other. You travel together. You eat together, especially basketball. You know, you only got like 14 guys, you know, and then you got the coaches. I mean, you guys are a traveling circus, a mini circus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you start, you know, you have lifelong bonds. And then when you are able to do something historic, like these guys were able to, you guys have, they have something that they don't recognize the magnitude right now. They do it in some ways, but as they get, I guess, to my age, you know, then they'll realize when you make history, it is once in a lifetime thing. And that's what they did. And so, you know, that's what probably is going to, you know, they're going to miss the most because, you know, this time last week or, you know, actually a couple of days before last week, you know, they were, you know, at the practice facility before they took off down to Houston. You know, it's the same old thing. Not one guy got on that plane to go down to Houston thinking that they were going to lose that game and that we won't be back next week. You're always thinking we will find a way, and next week we'll be back here practicing and getting ready for the Final Four. So there's a lot of emotions that they got to go through. But, again, it's a tough one to swallow against anybody, not just Iowa. It's anybody.
That's a lot. It's the classic. I feel like it comes up every March Madness. Like the Boston College player, I think his name was like Clifford. And I ask him, like, what are you going to miss the most? And he just says, like, going out to eat. And, like, the dude's balling. But, like, that's really all it is. Is like, you just kind of have memories of, like, damn, we spent a lot of time together. And, like, all the small things add up.
The bus rides and the plane rides, the you know, like
the food,
food and just hanging out with each other. You know, you're staying in a hotel, especially as a college kid. And, you know, it's stuff that you sometimes when you're here, at least in my case, you're here for 4 or 5 years, you just kind of just part of your routine. But then as you become a senior, like Sam and those guys, you're like, oh man, this is the last time that I'm going to be at, if there's the Cornhusker or whatever they have to stay at. Last time we're getting on this plane together as a unit, it's a, that's a tough, reality pill to deal with. And so,
especially guys like Rank Mast, like some of these guys, they made Nebraska their home.
Yeah.
Because you've been here for so long, and obviously you got to, a little bit different at first, but he's found a real home here. Even though he was at Bradley before, here at Nebraska, he had another comment. You could see how much he's kind of processing. Like, damn, this is the last time I'll get to wear the jersey.
Yeah, you always. I remember this. I started as a freshman and watching the seniors go through senior day. I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time.
Yeah,
like that. I was out there. Like that, these guys came through the program. A lot of these guys came out from nothing. You got Sam Hoiberg and Cale Jacobson came on as walk-ons and had to just grind their way to get on the court, get any minutes, earn the respect of your teammates and coaches, and they did so. Earn the respect of their opponents, which they did, and then obviously performed well throughout the whole season in a magical season. They're going down in Husker basketball history as, some players that really were part of hopefully the turnaround Nebraska basketball along with everybody else. And
they get that part at least. There's a lot of guys that got to end their careers and they have great memories and stuff, but these guys have got to end their careers and get to be part of the team that did, again, like you're part of the historic best team ever at Nebraska basketball. Like that's the legacy you left behind.
Yeah,
so I know they said it, Hoiberg said it, definitely left the program in a better spot than when they found it. And that's all you could ever really ask for as fans.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because you need a lot of luck and opportunity. That are, sometimes those things aren't in your control when you win a championship. And so, yeah, these guys have done a lot, and they did, like I said, they don't realize it. And you think about Rick Mast, that sitting out last year and being diligent, and the mental capacity to fight through an injury, with the doubts, the highs, the lows, the kind of, and then to go out and play this year and play all the games he could. As you could tip your hat to him, and then everybody else as well. So, Husker Stu says this. Fantastic season. It was enjoyable to watch for a change, and we need to do whatever it takes to get Price and Frager to stay here and play.
It helped again with the NIL things. Like they seem totally possible. Like even for a guy like Price, see what you grade out as. Like it's always worth doing.
Yeah.
But for a guy like him, like college is a good play. We have guys like in Alabama.
To be that dude, it's a great place for Price to. I mean, you got to think. Just a year ago, he was used to sit in the corner there for old Fran McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. That money's good because you got guys in the G League like Alabama fighting to get their way back.
I mean, I think Price has got. He can't make a wrong decision.
No,
he just got to make the educated one for him. And with Frager, it's a little different. You're sixth man of the year. If you stay here, most likely you're going to be starting. There is a difference now. If I was talking, there is a difference. Coming off the bench and starting is two different. You got to think. They have all offseason to study your tape and your weaknesses and your strengths. It's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big believer, Nebraska took, somewhat of a chance on you, and you got here. You're a local kid. Nebraska hadn't really recruited local, much. They recruited you, developed you. You got to come back at least one more. You got to validate. And I think Nebraska will be able to step up and keep them happy, and same with Price and all the other players coming in. But then ultimately, when that stuff is done, you got to close the doors and get right back to work. This is you talk about the intensity that they played with, pretty much all season. That's the same intensity and more that you're going to need, to have in practice and the way you prepare for the season. This sting and this hurt, you want the new players to feel it too. The desperation will be there, and that's what you want. And then as a coach and Fred, you just got to go get the right players. So it's a good problem to have. One more text before you go
for it.
Bill and Bennett. So Jake Sorensen is to blame for, believe it, a loss to Iowa into fruition. Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
He's a Dolphin fan.
Jake's an interesting man. I'll say that much about him, Mr. Sorensen.
Yeah,
he wasn't crying on the postgame show though, so he was all right.
But he said he sat in silence for 30 minutes.
He did.
He shed a tear. If anybody has any pictures of Jake Sorensen in Toyota Arena sitting in silence by himself, I will pay you $50 personally just because I want to laugh about that.
I'll find a way to get it to stream on the early break show if you send them.
Oh,
then all 1,000 viewers.
I'm just gonna keep doing like time text. You're just getting every single one. I'm just gonna keep sending it to you. Keep sending it to you. Keep sending it to you. So one more text here. Phil the Burn says this: super proud of the team and staff for the amazing season. Disappointing way to end the run, but this unfortunately has to happen to everyone but the national champion.
Exactly.
Definitely would have liked to see us switch to a 2-1-2 defense the last 6 minutes of the game. Playing man against Iowa with how they attacked us to end the game really drains. There's some truth to that.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised they didn't go back to the 1-3-1 at any point. They did it at one point, and they got like a Jedi mind trick turnover where they just the guy just tried to one-hand it and lost it, and we broke out of it after that. We never brought it back, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I know better than Nate Lenzer and Fred Weaver.
They're fine.
But
I mean,
I would have been interesting to see, like, maybe if you bring that out, is there a different result? Iowa, the way they were shooting the ball, maybe that's probably why they didn't go back into like a 1-3-1, a 2-1-2. If they practice it, maybe great. But I don't know if they just had that where they practiced enough. But the way Iowa was starting to light up from three, I'm assuming that's why they didn't want to go for it, even though it did work versus Vanderbilt. And like I said, they got like a Jedi mind trick turnover, but that was more luck.
And sometimes you think, okay, they're shooting so well from three, and you know what? They would probably tell you we had probably enough defensive breakdowns man to man.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't make a zone defense appealing. So everybody has the answers after the game, but I think it's a good suggestion. But ultimately, I think if Nebraska would have hit one of those guys, or one of the four that went 0 for 3, if they could have got two of those guys that hit 1-3, I think the outcome is a lot different. I think you play with a lot more confidence offensively if you're Iowa when your opponent isn't hitting anything. I mean, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so, look, it's a great season. Iowa's Iowa, and then you got to hear about it in football and all that. And football, it might be a little bit more mental because they're going to try to test your manhood. I think the game, against Iowa last night just came down to execution. To find little details. I don't think they're in Nebraska's head mentally as far as the basketball program. There's no way in the world. I think it's more or less, Iowa drains the clock, but they play with it at a better pace at this point in the season than they had earlier. And that was the big change. I also think that Nebraska's probably looking at what they needed to do versus what Iowa did. They know they controlled the destiny. They weren't able to do it. And that happens sometimes. There's a way, look, man, the UNLV running Rebels lost to the Duke Blue Devils. There is no way in the world, before that game tipped off, that the Duke Blue Devils, even though they had Christian Laettner, Grant Hill, and all them, and Thomas Davis and all that, could beat UNLV. And they did. Sometimes it's just not your night.
Yeah, I mean, it happened with Duke and R.J. Barrett, and that was like supposedly one of the greatest Duke teams ever. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember who they lost to. It was relatively early. But I got to say this about the Iowa thing. This one drives me nuts. Like, this idea that Iowa owns us in sports. Football, sure. Basketball, it's been tough. But this year was kind of a year where it's been like, okay, I feel like we're on even footing. But, like, go talk about wrestling the last 2 years. Who's sitting underneath Nebraska? Iowa. Nebraska wrestling shoved Iowa out of its place. Volleyball, Iowa act like they don't have a volleyball program. When we reach that conversation, baseball, who won the last 2 Big Ten championships, golf, you can go gymnastics. This idea that Iowa just like owns Nebraska and everything is just inaccurate.
I think it's the football fan base boiling over into basketball.
That's what it is.
Trying to bring your misery. Like, we're miserable because of it. So you guys are
going to share the misery with us. It's like, get the hell out of here. I don't want any of that.
It's like, look, I'm drunk off this whiskey. Now you got to drink it too, so we'll see. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Harrison. We are not drunk off of whiskey. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The wait is over. It's Truck Month at Anderson Ford, which means big selection and even bigger savings on Ford F-150s. Like lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for only $195 per month. The truck that's built to work hard and play hard. Another reason you'll experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008409. Previous service letter, $195 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year, 8,500 with type. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
This is Grant Wister. I spent a lot of years trusting teammates to do their job so I could do mine. That's the same thing I wanted to build with Champ Roofing, a group you can just trust to handle it. Roof damage, siding, gutters, inspections, and repairs, we cover it all. Headquartered in Lincoln, but serving the whole state. Champ Roofing is your choice for premium roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
And electrical.
Way out there where the sun comes up under the big red sky, I do life the way I love, with family by my side. I feel home with me, no matter where I go.
Proud of where we're from, excited for where we're going. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations. You're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Harrison, into hour one. Talking Nebraska, Iowa. Appreciate your text. Keep sending them in. We'll talk, at the top of the 4 o'clock hour more of the games. I think there were some really good games yesterday. Obviously, the Arizona game, they little BTA against Arkansas Razorbacks, but we'll get to that at the top of the 4 o'clock hour as we get into that. But the big news on the sneak is your boy Will Wade. I don't know if you saw this. Hey, if LSU doesn't have a profile of coaches that they hire, then just say I don't know what I'm talking about. Will Wade, who just I think a week and a half ago at the ACC tournament, they asked him about the LSU job. He's like, I didn't know it was open. But
okay, buddy.
Did you see the press?
Yeah.
He's like, but I just talked about administration. I just talked with administration about next year and what we're going to do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Will Wade, somehow, some way, is now back as the LSU head coach after getting fired for recruiting violations. And it wasn't a free ham sandwich or, giving somebody a ride to the airport. No, you were driving up the prices and they got you. They got you in a federal NCAA investigation, voice recognition, fired.
Mm-hmm.
And he's what? The one thing about him is, he's a good coach. He'll get some players there. They'll do well, but he fits right into LSU culture.
Yeah, that's somehow it's like a sloppy X that you're going back to, or it's like that might work out for you.
He's a guy. He's a guy that if he was an investment banker, he probably had forged a lot of people's names and made some people some money and then got in some trouble, but found a way not to go into jail. But I got a new plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's him. And
the IRS would know about him if he was in that business.
Not yet. If they did know about him, he probably gave somebody else up, and he's back. Where you been? Oh man, I just been on vacation for a couple years, on my yacht. Now he's back, but I got a new investment plan for you, and that's what he's going to do. And he'll do some good things down at LSU. He does really well, and he does fit the script for the LSU coach.
You think he was really surprised when he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that was open."
They knew before that.
That was my favorite line of that. It's like, okay, buddy,
listen. That contract had been signed. It just hadn't been dated. You know how you do DocuSign? Yeah. You just left the date, out of there, and then he's like, all right, we'll just
put the date on there when the time is right.
Yeah. So I will say this before we go to break. When you look at Fred Hoiberg, he looks like a former basketball player and a basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
Fits the script. Will Wade does not at all.
No.
But my man can coach basketball. So NC State will be able to get a good coach. They're a really good program. But the AD is ticked off.
Rightfully so. I mean, that's the tough way. Your coach goes, get some federal allegations against them, and then he's out and about to LSU, and you're sitting there with the mess.
You took a big risk getting him. Yeah. But here's the best part. The AD looked like he just came back off a hunting trip. Remember? He had the plaid shirt and the vest on. He didn't have any NC State stuff on. He was just mad.
He probably still had a tag in his pocket. He probably didn't even bag one that day.
Messed up. He had to come out of the blind. Probably got a little bit of cell phone service. That he got a whole bunch of texts, and he got
climbed up a tree, got one bar, got the phone call.
Yeah,
so what the hell's going on?
Cussed the whole way down. Yeah. So left his beer up there and everything. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll evaluate some of the games that were played outside of Nebraska, Iowa. Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
4 o'clock hour, Jay Foreman, Harrison, bringing you on to the weekend. Old School, once again, brought to you by Graham Tire, 75 years in the making. Great local company. Take care of all your tire needs and also fix your car and truck in a timely fashion. Graham Tyler, Lincoln, look them up, make an appointment, get it set, and tell them that the ticket sent you. But what was sent yesterday, Harrison, was 3 really good games.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll talk about the Arizona-Arkansas game. Essentially, Arizona dominated Arkansas. Even though Acuff did his thing, Arizona showed you why they were number one majority of the season. And it was the old guys against the young whippersnappers, and Arizona really beat the brakes off them to the point of 109-88, handing John Calipari his worst loss in his NCAA history or coaching history. Arizona looks like they're, just steady Eddie, under the radar. Nebraska can have their story. You can talk about Iowa. You can talk about Duke, St. John's, and all that. We're just going to just stay right over here, putting all heads to bed, and that's what they did last night to Arkansas. So that was the only game that wasn't exciting. Obviously, we covered the Nebraska game. We'll continue to do it. Keep sending your text in. We'll answer those. But the game of the night, I think, was Texas and Purdue. And Sean Miller is one of my favorite coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Always has been. Now he's like your boy Will Wade. Now he was on those tapes.
I was gonna say,
he'll pay you. Now Sean Miller, you need to call me up. I'll take a Chizek. Okay. Now I like him as a coach. When you were paying DeAndre Ayton all that money, I don't know how smart it was, but you got the job done.
Yeah, he'll grease the wheels to get it done.
And, give you the McDonald's bag and make sure there's no grease on the bag.
Just a happy meal.
I'm being just nothing but hundreds, and so, but I like him. But the Texas team coming in from the play-in game, Sweet 16, and led, I wouldn't say the majority of the game, they led Purdue, and they brought it to Purdue, came down, they were down by 5, tied it up on a 3-point play on a drive, 77-77, had a good defensive, I guess, set against Braden Smith, and man, Kaufman-Wren, just that last little putback. Now, did you see that play?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, should that have been over the back? Because he did Debo him way underneath the hoop. I mean, it was full.
There's definitely foul. I mean, the way they were, it's tough, right? Because in those end of the game situations, like I know we had some Husker fans complaining about officiating and not calling fouls. I much prefer it when refs swallow their whistle.
Yeah,
that was one that was kind of egregious. I think you might have to blow the whistle on that one. The highlights don't look good if you go back and watch it.
Yeah, I mean the way that looked
pretty clear contact.
Pretty clear contact.
But I get the ref like in those situations why you swallow.
Yeah,
like you're trying to give that benefit of the doubt. But I think even if he were to watch it back in real time, he should blew the whistle.
Yeah, often. But then when Texas won the game at the free throw line, then you would have been like, why would you call that? It's a bigger player against a smaller player. But Purdue,
not on my radar that this game was going to be close. I thought Purdue was going to put work in.
Because Texas, with their guard play, big man in the middle, I thought that they could match up against Purdue. And you know, Matisse, you know, he didn't even really have a good game. He wasn't. I mean, he only had 9 points. But I felt like, and he didn't, you know, really do damage on the boards. He had 1 rebound. But Texas has some athletes, and you know, with Tremaine Mark and Swain and Pope played well. And big shout out to Pope, I think it was, that playing 33 minutes on a broken foot. You talking about what March Madness is about? You break your foot, come back, the adrenaline's gone, you're back in Austin, Texas, and you play 33 minutes and play a heck of a game. You talking about being tough as nails? That's tough. But
shout out to his tape guy too.
Yeah,
the thing nice. I mean, obviously, I had to hurt like hell playing on it, but he must have that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's feeling a little bit sore today.
Kidding me?
To deserve a day off, but they were almost there. And you know what's crazy? They lost 77-79. Man, they outscored Purdue by 2 in the second half. And if they just would have just kept it, they would have been in overtime. Who knows what they would have won? But Purdue, all 5 starters in double digits. Braden Smith, Lawyers, Cox, Clough, and Kaufman Wren. That you talk about the epitome of Purdue. That's it. Team basketball, defense, physical, and made a great play. You talking about second? You talked about Sam Hoiberg, obviously, against Vanderbilt, to put back him and Ringmaster. There you go. Game winning play.
Yeah, not surprised by Painter. No. Like, that's why I picked Purdue to win the game. I was surprised that Texas made it as close as they did, and I don't think I was giving Texas enough respect for beating the Zags, but I feel like the Zags always disappoint, so maybe that's why I wasn't giving enough credit. But even when it gets close like that, like, that's why Purdue's so good. Painter has a beautiful program built over there. Like, they've been in enough high pressure situations now where I think in years prior we'd see this Purdue team get to, this is usually where the wall was.
Yep.
And now I think they've been deep enough, and now they kind of feel like we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So even if it gets tight, they don't seem to panic.
Excellent guard play, and they, all the big guys they get, they have a good system in place, and so it's great that like I said, I like Sean Miller. It's great that Texas played a great game, but it's even better that they lost.
Oh, 100%. Like, give me not great for the Big Ten, but also I don't want to see Texas win.
Texas didn't deserve to win because of the way that their fans reacted when they won the game. Winning play against who was that they beat and they get in this week or from the Sweet 16?
Zags.
Zags. The way you guys reacted,
yawning.
Yeah,
indifferent. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I guess we gotta go to another game. So, anyways, the next game, which I think was a good game, but I think it's a little bit of a surprise. 2-point game at halftime, but I felt like Illinois had control of the game from the very beginning. I felt like this might be the deepest team besides Arizona, going. They can go 9-10 people deep on their bench. They beat Houston 65-55. Probably doesn't even look as close as that. They're up at as much as 15. Wagler did his thing. He had 13 points, but the big thing, he had 12 rebounds. Is what that lets you know. A lot of deep shots from Houston, who's normally not a high-volume three-point shooting team. And then, obviously, consistent scoring from all of them. You had Stojakovic with, I think, 13. And let me look at it. I think they have a new Eastern European guy that I didn't recognize before, Merkovic. And he had 14. Jake Davis had 5. what is it? The Wagler had 13. Boswell, he only had 6. He's 0 for 5. He's 0 for everything from the field. Had 6, free throws. But you got big 13 points from Andre Stojakovic. I think that's huge because he's that extra guard, right? Extra ball handler that can slow down Houston. And so they were able to dominate in that victory. And I felt like their size and strength and, allowed them to, withstand the physicalness of Houston.
Yeah, I can't figure out what Illinois is. Like
they're really good.
They're a very good team.
Yeah.
But when I was first at the time I did the bracket, I had them all the way in the Final Four. I went back on that. Actually, I had Houston winning this one. But like Illinois, when they're playing their best basketball, they look unstoppable.
Yeah.
They're in their mean crew of foreign Europeans. Whether it's Visic, Stojakovic, they're just
Merkovic.
Yeah, like they got a interesting group of guys that all got some unique traits to them, and when it all clicks together, they can beat anybody. But at the same time, it's the same team that lost to Wisconsin twice. They had that little run where I think they lost to UCLA.
Yeah, by 20.
And it was a whooping. And then they and even versus Nebraska that first time around, they played good. But again, you saw Nebraska team catch them at their lulls. They're clicking at the right moment here.
Yeah.
We talked about this game. I thought if Illinois wins, they win it by a nail biter. And to your point, it felt like Illinois was in control the entire time.
Yeah, I think even though it was a 2-point game at halftime, it was not a 2-point game, and they were able to turn it up, and they were up by more than 10 points at times in the second half. And if you're Houston, you look at it like this: we held Illinois to 65 points and we lost. So Calvin Sampson is looking at, all right, look what we kind of like Nebraska. We couldn't hit anything. And maybe it's being down there in Toyota Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible because Nebraska and Houston shot horrible. When you think of it, was it Kristanek Jr.? He was 3 of 12. Flemings, who was their all everything, point guard, he was 4 of 10. Uzan was 2 of 11, and even Emmanuel Sharp was 7 of 16, and he shot 10 threes, 3 of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So they were definitely off. And you have to give the credit to Illinois because I think their defensive prowess maybe played into that more than what people would give credit for coming into the game. Why Harrison? Houston's always known as their big defensive team.
Yeah,
and I said it yesterday. They still are a really good defensive team, but this year they shoot the ball a little bit better defensively. They're not as dominant as they had been, in years past.
No, I mean, I think if you honestly would told me Houston scores 55 points and you didn't tell me the Illinois score, I'd probably think like, damn, Houston put on a clinic defensively. Illinois probably only finished with like 50.
Yeah.
But you tip your cap to Iowa's offense was better than Houston's defense. And that's been a rarity for Houston. And I'm still waiting for Houston to break through. This didn't feel like it was going to be quite the year for them to win a championship because the offense was a little bit down. But at the same time, that's a great coach to go and beat in that situation.
He'll be back. I'm
He
sure
will be.
He'll reload and he's going to try to make some noise. We got a text in here from Ben. He's like, what's up with all the Vitches for Illinois? For Illinois. Hey, Brad Underwood has a pipeline over there. I don't know, whoever the assistant coach has done a really good job recruiting over there, and they have the eye for talent. You got Merkovic, and then you got Stojakovic, the was it Visic brothers?
Yeah, Visic brothers, Merkovic,
and then they got
Stojakovic, and
what about your boy Ben? Traus.
I'm not sure where he's from.
Let's look where he's from. What are the odds? Oh, he's from Indiana.
His name's Ben.
But look at his last name. I mean, who is Ben? We got to start studying him. Where is he originally from? Where's your heritage? 6'9", 225. Illinois is a big team, man.
Yeah, they are.
Big physical team. Tough out for anybody, and they're able to move on. It was a good night of basketball. But the great thing about March Madness, it just doesn't stop there. We got games tonight as well. And they're going to be good. I think the headliner is going to be right at 6:10 p.m. We want your thoughts on this. St. John's against Austin Orman's Dukies. Duke is favored by 6.5 points. St. John's and Rick Pitino lighting it up at the Capital One Center in Washington, D.C. This game is going to be on and popping. St. John's is going to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And Duke's going to bring it.
I don't know if Duke's going to bring it.
They can kind of suck. That Siena game, I know that's kind of the first one, but, man, they were on the ropes.
They were on the ropes. It was they only won my game by 6 points.
St. John's coming off of a last-second layup to beat Kansas.
I like Patino and the boys. I like Austin Orman frowning as soon as he lands back in Lincoln. Looking at,
Did you see what Rick Pitino said?
He hasn't fed them in a week.
Yeah,
them boys are starving. He's got them hungry. Come on, he's got those guys ready to go.
He had the best of halftime speech. He was asking, "Where you guys been raised? It's time to dig in. Every time you face adversity, you guys want to wilter." He's like, "This is life. Bleepity bleep bleep. Let's go."
He's such a fun coach to root for. And they asked him, I think it was today, about he mentioned the guys being hungry, and that was his quip. He's like, "Yeah, I haven't fed him for a week." Just like straight faced. It's like he's such a great speaker.
Yeah.
And if you're a player, you gotta love playing under a guy like
Rick
that.
Pitino calls you up, man, especially if he shows up in your house to recruit you in that white suit. That's the closing suit. And so they're starting to get some more money as far as backing in St. John's. So, look, when he got there, the program was down in the dumps. He built it up really, really quick. Everywhere Rick Pitino's been, he's been successful. So I'm picking St. John's as well. Even though I have Duke, I have not been impressed by Duke.
They're favorited heavily. It's 6.5. Duke's favorite,
that's
which
a lot.
surprises me.
That's a lot. But I think their point guard's coming back.
We'll see.
Yeah. Next game is at 6:35. Alabama against Michigan. I'm going Michigan big time. They're favored by 9.5 points. Bama with all their drama. I think Michigan is just going to be they're the closest thing to Arizona, or Arizona is the closest thing to them. I think Michigan rolls pretty easily over Bama.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to Michigan too. I got to tip my cap to Alabama though. It's incredible that they're here. Like the amount of controversy around this program throughout the regular season, and for them to be able to put that noise to the side. So I think Michigan. I think it's actually probably going to be close. I mean, Alabama's been
they can score
super
now.
locked in all year.
Bama are going to score.
Yeah,
they're going to shoot threes and they're going to push the pace. If Michigan comes out there like they did against Nebraska, they're going to get ran out of the gym.
That's what I'm thinking. Because again, I think Michigan just got off guard because Nebraska was hot and they were hitting shots and they were big and they weren't necessarily respecting the perimeter quite yet.
Yeah.
If Alabama starts off hot from the perimeter, they're going to have to keep it up, obviously. That's why I'm still going with Michigan. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan gets a little bit panicked early on.
Yeah, I do too. But I think they'll be able to pull it out. The next game is two of the most fiery coaches out there. Old school like no other. Tom Izzo against Dan Hurley. Michigan State, UConn, 3-2 matchup. UConn is favored by 2.5, so essentially like Nebraska last night against Iowa, toss-up. I'm going Izzo.
Well, I am too.
I like both of these coaches. I'm just going Izzo.
I'm picking on – you like Hurley?
I do.
Really?
I just think he's funny. I just think everything – look, the thing is just so funny, his reaction. Like, bro, you that mad, or you just oh, this is the worst call I ever seen. No, it's not.
He's an interesting character. I still think when they played UCLA, the Cronin versus Hurley was the two most whiny coaches you'll ever catch playing each other.
Cronin just acts like he just got a bad case of hemorrhoids all the time.
I mean, when he sits down, he's angry. He's grimacing. So maybe
the funny thing, he's a short little dude.
He is a short little
dude. When he gets mad at the tall guys, he's up on his tippy toes looking. That's just the funny thing.
It's still funny when he kicked his own player out of the arena just for him to go back and be like, yeah, that was my bad. It's like, all right.
Yeah, you already did the damage, and I'm already in the portal.
But hey, you know what?
If he kicked me out during the game, by the time he got it, I'm already in the portal. I'm like the dude when Nebraska played USC. All right, I'm done at halftime. The next game.
I got Spartans, by the way. I'm gonna roll with Izzo.
I like Izzo.
Feels like a Big Ten year, and I do love Izzo. This is to me the respectable, and then the guy that's. I'm not gonna say he's not. I don't know him, so I'm not gonna bash him. But I like Izzo's personality a bit more.
Yeah, I think and Izzo's challenged out, and the funny Izzo, no matter if it's in season or out of season, 1,000% his voice is gonna be hoarse.
It's funny. Him talking about it's hilarious.
Like. No matter what.
He says people think it's like from him yelling at players and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's not. I can't remember exactly what the cause is, but it's not him yelling. He's got something wrong with his voice where it just goes out. Or he's just lying through his teeth.
I did see that on the Big Ten. He said he always got to check with his doctor and stuff.
Yeah.
You better get him an NIL deal with like Lipton Tea and a honey company. And stuff.
It's like preseason Big Ten media.
Yeah.
Tom Izzo's out there with a raspy voice. And it's like, damn, you've been working those guys hard early in the season already. But apparently it's just, I don't know what the deal is, but it's not because he's yelling all the time.
Next game at 9:10 p.m. in Chicago, Tennessee against Iowa State. Iowa State pretty much has a home game. It's close to Ames. You're a little closer than Tennessee. I'm going Iowa State.
I like the Cyclones too. They're shooting the ball so well right now.
I don't think Tennessee's scoring enough.
Their offense has been good. When they played Miami, Ohio that first time, why I don't want to trust Tennessee is like their 3-point shooting numbers have been much better than the regular season ever indicated it could be. They remind me of like when the Miami Heat was the play-in team and they made a run all the way to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
They were, I think, like bottom third from last in 3-point shooting percentage, and they finished like number 1 3-point shooting percentage throughout that NBA Finals run.
Yeah, they got
They
hot.
lost,
Yeah.
but like they just got hot and it somehow managed to stay in a way that we haven't ever seen. Tennessee's on that run right now, but I do think it eventually slows down.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to Iowa State.
And I think Josh Jefferson is coming back for Iowa State.
Yes.
So they're playing. They're going to get an uptick in obviously scoring ability and rebound ability. So, anyways, those are the games. We're going to take a quick break. Come back. Talk some more college basketball. Talk some more NCAA. A lot of things are going on, both in obviously basketball and football. Jay Foreman, Harrison. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Do you ever feel okay in your current job and profession, but wonder if there's a better company that can offer more? Vision Mechanical is now hiring for journeyman plumbers and HVAC service technicians. Vision Mechanical offers top-of-the-industry wages, 100% paid health, disability, and life insurance, 401k with employee match, and paid holidays and vacation. Vision Mechanical believes in craftsmanship, teamwork, and building a better future one project at a time. Apply today or learn more at visionmechanical.net or email Ron at vmech.net.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we are very excited to announce our spring sales event happening now at Coppell. We have 0% financing or up to $13,000 off select GMC and Chevrolet inventory. You heard that right, 0%. Or $13,000 off select inventory. We'd love to see you at the store or check us out online at coppellcars.com. Folks, this is really confident buying and confident driving. Stock number C127238 and G1739777 with approved credit.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, man. What up? We're back. Jay Foreman Harrison, Old School. The NCAA action. Good games last night. Good games tonight. We'll see. But, man, it's crunch time.
How's your bracket doing? Did you fill one out even?
When Florida kind of blew my bracket up.
That's right. You would pick Florida.
Well, I was just thinking they're playing well. But, yeah, they blew my bracket up, man.
It's all right. I was looking at Nick Sanders back there. His is dusted. He had Houston winning it all.
Well, hold on now, my friend. Contraire. Okay, well, I'm pulling it up now.
All right. Mine's in shambles. I'm not the worst.
See where my
best
score
for
is.
sure.
But I think I'm doing okay. I don't know. Oh, let me see.
The only thing I'm holding on to is Arizona to win it all, which is looking good right now.
Which is crazy. I got Duke winning it all. I don't know why I did this.
You're hanging out with Austin too much, man. You're letting Austin.
He's like the Jedi mind trick.
He talks Duke up in a way that you think it's their year. It's never Duke's year.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
I had Utah State Oh, I did it. I think I got majority of them right on the one side. Now I'm missing Florida.
Was that your jam, Florida?
No.
Oh, okay, so you're all right.
Yeah. No, Duke was my.
Oh yeah, that's what you said, Duke.
So we'll see.
I mean, usually it just comes down to the Final Four, and then out of those who get all the Final Four right, who picks the champion.
Yeah.
Unlike the first round, that's a lot. You're going for the perfect bracket. That never happens.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all right. But not too. Let me see. My brackets are. I think. Did you do the ticket one?
Yeah.
I think I was pretty close. I think I was number 12 before Florida lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're sitting really high
Yeah.
up there. You have a damn good bracket.
Yeah.
I lied on
did.
mine. I gave mine a PSA graded 10 is what I titled it, and it was wrong on day one.
It's always like that when a big major team gets beat, you know?
This year, I don't know why. I talked to Austin Orman about it, and I should have stuck with my gut because we were talking, before the tournament happened. It was like, how good is the Big Ten? This feels like a Big Ten year. You're looking across the board, and I'm like, talking to him, it's like, am I overvaluing the Big Ten this year? Just because it's the team you watch the most, obviously, watching a bunch of Nebraska basketball games and then conference games. And then I moved off of it because I thought I was being too biased. And now we're watching it play out, and the Big Ten's killing it. You got 3 teams in the Elite Eight already. I know you're waiting for Michigan State and others.
I have a 98%.
Dang. You might win.
98% and one.
That means you got to root for Duke, though.
I got Duke. Yeah, Duke. And then I got a lot of green on here, more than I thought of. I missed.
So you're in the top 2% in the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's damn good.
We got to see, though. We got a little bit too much red there down in this Southern bracket.
The Southern was a mess for a lot of people.
Yeah,
though.
Southern just kind of jacked it up. And,
Yeah.
And
I didn't see any brackets
I
that
had
cleaned
Houston
up.
beating Illinois. And I got the Iowa State one right. And I should have went with Tennessee because one of my best friends from the NFL went to Tennessee. And I picked Virginia. And I never should pick Virginia because of Tony Bennett, and they always let you down.
Virginia drives me nuts. I never forget the year I picked Virginia to win it all. They lose to the UMBC Golden Retrievers.
In the first round.
First round. Next year, Virginia, they choke. Not going to pick them to go far. They win the championship. Like the most, when you're down on them, they catch you off guard. And when you're high on them, they disappoint you in ways you'll never expect.
Yeah.
That is Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, well. But, the women's tournament is starting to get excited. Obviously, it's UConn or bust. But, as you get out, towards Sunday, it's going to be some pretty exciting games, on both sides, men and women, so.
For the women, it's usually a lot more exciting when you get towards the end.
Right.
Like it's
because the knowns generally get through.
Yeah, there's something about the women's tournament where, like, if you're going for madness, it's not necessarily fun. But if you want to watch good basketball, like the beauty of, at least with the women, is like you usually get the best teams at the end.
Yeah.
Like men's, there's enough chaos. You don't always see that. The first few rounds, like you'll be, especially if you're following UConn, you'll be looking at scores. It's like, damn, you're in the tournament and you lost by 60.
Yeah.
You avoid that. When you start getting down, you get like Don Staley, UConn, you get like the real juggernauts.
LSU and all that.
And then it turns into really good games to watch.
Yeah, so we shall see. We got breaking news, though, Harrison.
What's the breaking news?
Breaking news is Eldrick Tiger Woods got in a car accident.
Yes.
And he says he was arrested on suspicion of DUI, but I think he blew a 000.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say, because there's no DUI in the headline. I shouldn't chuckle because he rolled the car pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a 2-car accident, so it must be probably.
I don't know if this one was on his fault entirely.
I'll never know, but he got arrested for suspicion at 2:00 in the afternoon.
But he blew 0. So how do you get arrested for suspicion if you blow 0?
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
That makes 0 sense. He got a great lawyer.
Or if he was like DUI, driving under the influence, it could be like pain pills or something like that.
Yeah, it could be anything.
That's why they say you can't drive and all that. And I've taken a few, and you definitely, when they tell you you could be loopy in your reaction time to do it. I mean, I've never driven while I've had to take him or taken him. But I think that's what messed up his driving before.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah,
because with his back, he's probably on that pretty consistently, and
probably also trying to get healthy enough physically to try to compete in the Masters. you're probably scrambling a little bit and cramming. No excuses. I'm not making.
Yeah, don't be driving, man.
Well, first of all,
like you got a posse that can probably drive you around.
Ben says this. He said, yes, it's not alcohol. It's weed or pills.
Okay. Pills is my guess.
Tiger does not look like he partakes.
No.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate for him because I think it's, he's had some issues with it or whatever. And I don't think anybody means an addict, but I've taken some of that stuff. And, one of the things, and again, I'm saying this without making any excuse for Tiger because he's number one. He's a multi-billionaire. You are at the point you can have somebody drive you to the golf course and back. So, and everybody can put on their judge hat, right? I'm not going to do that, but I know that you have to time out when you take these types of medicines. I'm for real, and I take a lot of them. You have to eat. You have to have them like I have a schedule on my phone.
Well, does it just like hit you all of a sudden?
Well, if you don't,
or can you feel it?
I can tell you this right now: if you are not hydrated enough and have enough in your stomach, so you're taking
loopy.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't realize how strong. Well, I guess
they're strong.
Sense. Yeah,
they're strong. And I've tried to move to different types of stuff. But so in his case, if that's the case, if you overextend, you just worked out and sometimes it just there's no guarantee. There is in a roundabout way the dosage, but you just never know. You could get one that's a little bit more powerful.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
when they're doing it, I mean, like they get it as close as possible, but you never know if you get one that's got a little bit more in it.
So hopefully the best thing is nobody's hurt. And he seems to be all right. And I guess right here we have another text from unknown texter. 6145. It says, sounds like Tiger refused to take a urine test, so that's why he's under suspension of DUI. Suspicion of DUI. And for his case, so let's just say it's just an honest accident, and then you don't take it. There's times like with me, like I was with a friend, and we were down at OKC, and he was like, "Man, you look like you've been chiefing a little bit." Now granted, I had LASIK, surgery, so you kind of battle a little bit of a dry eye all the time.
Yeah,
so
you telling me I got blepharitis, buddy.
Right.
Chronic eye disease.
Right. So it's like, but unfortunately at that time, I hadn't been doing it, but it could look like. So if he's in the same, and say he had taken one within 24 hours and it can be in your system, that might be a reason why you refuse that. Because once you're on it, you got to, stay on it, and you got to obviously, finish it. So you just never know details out. Hopefully everybody's all right, but that's the breaking news.
Well, at least on the bright side, no one's like hurt from what I've read. Everyone made it out okay, other than the cars.
At this point, my brother, we got to have a conversation.
Seriously.
Okay.
But you got to plan better. Like to your point, like you got all the money in the world. Like if you're going to be on those pills, then they're that strong. If that is what it is.
If you have a surgery, just have it out to where you have a driver and all that. And obviously, look, I'm sure nobody feels worse than Tiger.
Yeah.
Right? The embarrassment. He probably didn't do it on purpose. It's not like he said, I'm going to do this and then have all this stuff.
Wasn't the one where he was going 80 in the parking lot.
Yeah. Late.
Yeah.
Because he woke up late, which means, and it was because of some of the stuff he was taking, a sleeping pill, woke up late, and then you groggy there too.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Ambien and all that stuff. I think there's not one thing that I haven't tried or did to try to improve, my so-called health or pain tolerance from some injuries and stuff. So hopefully everybody's all right, but it's breaking news. We got other breaking news.
All right. Well, I'm not aware of this one.
Barrett Robbins passed away, unfortunately, at the age of 52. Remember Barrett Robbins?
I was just going to ask how old he was.
Yeah, he's 52. I played against Barrett Robbins. He's actually a fun-loving dude, but obviously had some issues when he was at the Super Bowl with the Raiders.
Uh-huh.
The sad thing with him is he started to get kind of, his life together. He was all pro, and, he had from all the pain, like they used to give some Toradol shots and all that, it messed up his kidneys and stuff like that. And I guess he just passed away in his sleep, man. First of all, it's like
that's brutal.
Yeah. With him, and when you have that type of incident, and then you kind of go down the path, and it seemed like he was doing better, and nobody's perfect. And then, then fortunately you pass away in the middle of the night. Nobody knows the details, but it's just,
At least he was at a much better spot in life,
right? Yeah.
I presume.
Yeah. And you like to think, he went through a rough patch there, which everybody does. And, You know, he went to prison for, violating probation, and then got out, early. He went in 2011 and came out in 2012. Then, it seemed like he'd been doing all right. And it just sucks that, a guy so young that you played against, you just never think, it was that somebody at 52 years old is going to be passed away. I mean, it happens all the time, but
it's crazy in sports too. Because, like, again, you don't know, like, everything that led into that. Like, obviously the cortisol shots and hurting the kidneys. It's a brutal sport. I mean, you got to be on some of these medications to go through some of these injuries.
Yeah,
they add up.
Yeah, I mean, he's loved by his teammates. He got some daughters and stuff like that. So send the condolences to him.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah. So with that being said, we'll take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we are very excited to announce our spring sales event happening now at Coppell. We have 0% financing or up to $13,000 off select GMC and Chevrolet inventory. You heard that right, 0%. Or $13,000 off select inventory. We'd love to see you at the store or check us out online at coppellcars.com. Folks, this is really confident buying and confident driving. Stock number C127238 and G173977 with approved credit.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We're going to see a good amount of sunshine here for our Friday, but a high temperature of only 55 degrees. Breezy with wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour and a red flag warning in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. The wind will lighten up tonight. We'll drop down to 28 for a low. 63 tomorrow, but more fire danger and more wind. But the 80s are going to be back by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Down for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966. Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Harrison. Quick segment before we get to 5 o'clock hour. Talk a little spring football. Big recruiting weekend. End of the spring for Nebraska, but is actually the kickoff to the countdown to the regular season for 2026 Nebraska football. But before that, as obviously we have March Madness, obviously we got spring football. We haven't on Old School. Baseball started.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to shout out wrestling because we have a YouTuber on here who's demanding, if the media would just talk about Husker wrestling more. So shout out to those guys. They got third place.
Shout out to Mark Manning and the crew.
Great program.
They were second, they got second last year, third this year. A powerhouse for real now. They validated the great year they had last year with another great year this year.
Had some legacy builders too.
Yeah.
Like a guy like Brock Hardy. He didn't finish with the championship. The best thing I could describe Brock Hardy, he's like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Like one of the greatest that never won it. But if you say Chris Paul, like everyone respects that name. So shout out. And then Antrell Taylor, he got a run at the championship. Unfortunately didn't win. And then Mintil, sophomore. He got into the finals. Like, they got some dogs
Yeah, 'cause
in the
Antrell's one
lineup
more
coming
year,
up.
right?
Antrell's got another year,
Yeah.
too. So they got some good things cooking in the water that I don't think this program's set up to take steps back. I think they'll
We got
keep moving
Ziola
forward.
too, right?
Ziola, they'll
Yeah.
figure out what to do with heavyweight. I know some people are saying if AJ, stays, then easiest way is like he maybe moves down a weight and then you can have him wrestle down and then Kate Ziola take the heavyweight. But all that's kind of in the water. But
Yeah.
you do got
But
a guy there in Kate Ziola.
But it's a good problem to have.
It's a great
It's a good
problem.
problem to have. If you can bring both of those back, you go 2 for 1. But, Mark Manning is a guy that's, stayed here when he had other offers, built this program up, and is a perennial powerhouse. And I think by validating your last year with another great year this year is going to be just like the basketball team. Uptick in, support, both, in fan base and financially. And they'll be able to go out there and compete for some of the top wrestlers because Mark has a good eye for talent. He's built a culture here, a toughness, exciting. You ever been to one of the wrestling matches live?
Dude, it's crazy. They're a lot of fun. I went to North Carolina.
I've never been to one.
The elevated mat's a game changer.
Yeah, but I'd never been to one until I went, and I was down there. I think in the front row.
Mhm.
Yo,
it's nuts.
You talk about I know people love WWE and all that, but they're coming out there for real.
No, this is real
Yeah,
wrestling.
Yeah, and it's mano a mano.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty exciting and it's quick. It's fast paced, but it's exciting. Obviously, Nebraska is a very dominant program, so it's always good to go watch them. But
It's easy. Those wrestling matches, you don't see people talking crazy.
No,
because you look around at the fans and there's a bunch of wrestling dads. It's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna respect my opponent. So it's a great viewing
and it's a great atmosphere.
They do the tunnel walk now too.
Yeah, and they got it going on. So
and also I got to shout out Silas Allred. We finished third, but he broke his ankle in the quarterfinals.
You wanted to keep wrestling.
That's a tough way to finish out. But Silas Allred, he had took it really well. It was good to see him how he responded. But I know he's like a fan favorite. You see the stashes everywhere at the Bob when they were wrestling. So just tough one for him to end up. But hey, you had a guy that, again, he broke his ankle in the quarterfinal. He gave you points. He still had more to give you, but he still got third place. So hell of a finish.
Yeah, man. It's I was just thoroughly impressed, obviously by the wrestlers, and we went to the preseason kickoff and watched how they worked, and you kind of have guys competing to be the starters in certain weight classes, and you see guys deal with this undulation of success and then agony of defeat, but still being there for each other and not giving up. That's why you have depth on this roster in this program. When you're talking about Ziola taking over for AJ next year and AJ going down, that's where you're talking like.
I think that's a dream scenario.
But I'm just saying, even to have that dream or have that potential, that lets you know you have a superstar wrestler in the making. That's when you've arrived per se, and that's when you went from, I guess, the hunter last year to the hunted this year, and you continue to be successful. So I think the mindset and the foundation of the program is there, and that's why they've been so successful the last 2 years, and expectations for next year is no different.
I got nothing but respect for the wrestlers. I think it's probably the hardest sport out there. Like keeping your weight in check. Like you've been around that training table.
Oh yeah, I've seen
keeping that discipline all year because they don't get to stop when the season ends.
No, you can't put on a 20.
No,
you got to.
You can, but it'll be hell when you come back.
You got to stay active. I remember, when I was in high school, the wrestling room or whatever would be kind of down the hall, and you look in there, and I had a lot of friends that wrestled and
sweaty dungeon.
Yeah. And I'd look in there. Got to be going to basketball. Hey, Harrison, I'm going to basketball practice. I always peep my head in there and, sell some wolf tickets. Like, I'll come in there and pin you guys. Are like, come on in. I was like, nah, I'm not getting down. And they were putting in some work, man. And so, I always tip my hat to the wrestlers. I will tell you this before we go to break. The one thing I learned from John Holisek, who was a mentor of mine, linebacker, when I got to Buffalo. He played at Illinois, and a tough dude. He taught me how to study opponents. And he always told me, check their background if they were wrestlers. Because you in for a dog.
It's true, though.
Let me tell you something. Because those dudes play with great leverage. They're competitive, and they keep coming.
Well, look at what Nash did.
Yeah.
It went off.
But that's just tell you about that wrestler. Some great players, were state champions wrestlers. You got to think of Harrison Phillips here.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Lewis was a 2 or 3 time state champion as a wrestler, and there's a plethora of ones that have been really successful at the NFL level.
But when you see it live, like, you see the footwork.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense
The
in the world.
balance
Like,
and
you
all
got to
that.
be so disciplined on like figuring out, like, wrestling's all about angles and leverage and power. Like, how can I generate power at this angle, and where do my feet need to be so I can get that leverage? That's all wrestling is. So yeah, you put that to football. If you understand how your body works and where the torque comes from, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And like I said, well, once I knew it was a wrestler, I was like, all right, hey, I got to get ready. Come Monday, I got to start.
Who was one guy? Is there a guy that you went up against in the NFL that you did the report and you're like, oh, this guy's a wrestler, and he was about it?
It was Doug Brzezinski. I think he went to Boston College. Yeah, he was a big old dude, wrestler. Dan Neal was. He was kind of dirty, but, you know, he kicked him in the face once, and that kind of handled that. But, yeah, there was a lot. I mean, like, Steve Wisniewski was he went to Penn State. He was a wrestler. You know, he got wrestling background in high school. You know that they don't forget that type of tenacity and competitiveness. The attributes that they learn by being a wrestler, that means they're individually motivated, right? They don't need the rah-rah stuff, and they're going to be in shape. They have a ability to keep going, and they can go past where most people break. So you have to be able to match that and trying to find a way to leapfrog that as well. So
I was wondering if Jordan Burroughs would have played football.
He'd be a nice little safety or something.
Freak athlete.
Yeah.
One of the scariest dudes. I think he's the greatest. We need a Jordan Burroughs statue outside of the Bob. I mean, he seriously has an argument being one of the best.
Hey, just
athletes.
imagine if you're the dude that had too many Coors Lights or Busch Lights, and you in a bar and you roll up on Jordan Burroughs, and you see, you know what I mean?
Good night.
You get folded like a lawn chair, man. That's the funniest thing ever.
Nicest guy, and he'll help you up after.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I used to go out to this club called Seven in Minneapolis. Brock Lesnar was there. That's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he was sizing me up, and I was like, man, I come in peace. I just wanted to meet.
You seen his daughter? Runs in the family.
Yeah. You better come with it. And he grew up
married a lineman. The daughter did.
Yeah, probably was a 2045 draft.
That family's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might, and you know what? The husband might hyphenate his name. Anyways, with that being said, Jay Foreman and Harris are going to take a quick break. We'll jump into spring ball. Send in your questions. What you expect to see tomorrow, what you want to see. Are you going to watch it? Is it on Big Ten? Be a little cool, but make sure you come out and support the Huskers. Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines. Now boarding. Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all of the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate. One last night, one legendary career. On April 4th at 7 p.m., Love Nebraska hosts Love Austin at Baxter Arena, and it marks the final home match of Olympic gold medalist Jordan Larson's career. From world championships to unforgettable runs in Nebraska, she's defined excellence at every level. Now she shares the court one final time at home against an Austin squad ready to compete. It's more than a matchup. It's a farewell to a Nebraska icon and global trailblazer. Be there to witness history on April 4th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at lovbneb.com/tickets.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score. Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Hour 3 at the top of the hour. Jay Foreman, Harrison, old school, the new school way. The rest of the ticket crew is trying the hardest to get back from Houston in TSA. Get there early and wait. And then they'll be back in full effect, or we'll be back in full effect come next week. But Graham Tire is celebrating 75 years of service in the Midwest. They're more than just tires. They do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too, from brakes to oil changes. Trust Graham Tire for your service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter the most. So we appreciate them and their support. 75 years, they took care of me and can take care of you. But before we get into spring, again, this is breaking news, so it's the third one.
A lot of breaking news.
Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback for Ole Miss, will be eligible to play for Ole Miss this year.
So he got his year.
Yeah, he got his year. So I guess the NCAA appealed it, and it went back and forth all the time, and they do things the way they want to down in Ole Miss. But the NCAA appealed it, and they were denied. So that means he will be eligible to play for Ole Miss.
How do you feel about that? Kind of hate the way that sports is.
I think when you look back at Ferris State, he actually was hurt.
He was.
Which so makes me think it should have never been an issue. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel, I don't feel like he's like pulling the wool over somebody, but I think.
Well, I think their argument was like, hey, you were going to take the injury year under the understanding that you were going to go through the surgery, and then he opted out to not go through the surgery and just do it through medication, and it dragged on. So that was like kind of a little bit of like how he decided to go about it.
Yeah,
was like the argument. I don't know if it was a super strong argument from the NCAA, but again, the NCAA's gray area is so bad right now that all of these decisions go through the courts. And back and forth, where decision, appeal, counter appeal, it's just back and forth. It's a messy. I think this was actually the correct decision with Chambliss, but at the same time, it's just shows how much of a mess it is. All this stuff having to go through the courts before anything ever gets settled.
And like you said, this seems like a cut and dry type of deal, but for whatever reason, they extend it against the ones that they should rule for, and then the ones that they should rule against end up with the easy path. It's weird.
It's about who's your lawyer.
Yeah.
That's what seems to matter. Like, you got a good lawyer, you can fight through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And for one of those guys where it seems like pretty clear shot, they should easy. They probably, I don't know. I don't know if they have a great agent or lawyer representing them, and then it gets shut down because they.
Yeah,
it's tough.
He's got the backing of Ole Miss. Obviously, you can make it to. The Final Four in the college football playoffs, a magical year. He played phenomenal, even through like Lane Kiffin leaving, and then Golden became the head coach, and obviously turned it over to him. So if I'm Coach Golden, that's what I want. I want my quarterback that really captured the nation. He came in, was the number 2 quarterback, and obviously he played like an NFL player. I mean, we're to the point that he was definitely in first round conversations. He's going to be 24 years old at this time next year. So it'll be plenty seasoned to go into the NFL next year. But he gets a 6th year of eligibility, and it's based off that he should have received a medical red shirt back in 2022. And he lost a year of eligibility despite not appearing in any game at the Division II level. He was dealing with some health issues, ultimately resulting in him getting his tonsils removed in 2024. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but you're not able to play. It's a bigger deal than what people think. So good for him.
I think they're trying to call bluff on that.
Hopefully it's done.
I think it's done now.
I hope.
I don't think they can appeal.
I hope it's done. And look, if he's beat you at your own game, let us do his thing, and then see what Ole Miss is able to do with the fresh year without Lane Kiffin.
They seem to not mind him when they lost him initially. Now we'll see when the real effects take place over the course of the offseason. But
so they look pretty competitive. But I think Lane had a big, his DNA is in that program, still is. Golden was a great choice. He's never been a head coach before, but I think what he was able to do with defense down there, I think it made him a great candidate. He's under the Nick Saban umbrella, so you expect him to obviously be very detailed, but then also very free flowing, that he's not as probably I I don't know what the perception of Nick Saban that is abrasive, but he's his own man as he coaches. So we shall see. It's more SEC drama, whereas the Big Ten is kind of business as usual. And it bodes well. It's not only for Ole Miss, but it's also bodes well for the SEC, because you got to think next year, obviously with, national champion, coming out of the Big Ten once again, they're trying to not only position themselves to be a national champion out of that conference, but they want to get back to dominating the big bowl games, and they haven't been able to do that. And Ole Miss is going to play a big part in it.
Yeah, 100%. Ole Miss is a big one in there for them, but it's been tough. The Big Ten's taken over in football, at least over the past couple seasons. And then basketball, maybe this year you're seeing it. I don't know how much of it's NIL, how much of it I do think the Big Ten just has really great coaches right now across the board, and the SEC has good coaches, but there's a lot of movement happening, so maybe that'll settle some things. But I do think when you talk about NIL, these Big Ten schools have money, man.
Yeah. Well, I think the SEC and their conference underestimated
how much money the Big
Ten has. And also it brought a lot of parity, and it affected them more than anything, because they were able to pay guys underneath the table, keep them hidden.
Saban said that wasn't happening. What are you talking about?
It was happening. And that's fine.
And now everybody, Bama Jones?
Now everybody can pay each other. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, they were definitely paying.
Yeah.
Iconic moment where Pat McAfee called him out.
Oh, I know.
Live, and that's where that. What do you call him? Alabama Jones, because of the fedora, the big hat he was wearing.
Alabama Jones. He was hot that because he had the comedian on with him.
Yeah, Shane Gillis, and then you got Pat McAfee.
And he was getting it from both ends. And then he started to get a little bit mad, but it's funny. But
I think that's a real part of it. It's like now it's all above surface.
It's more of an even playing field.
Yeah.
And this is how much you want to stretch the limits. And obviously some teams are stretching them more than others. Look at LSU. And so we shall see where the chips may fall. But Ole Miss is probably, on the up and up and feels pretty good. That's a big bonus, for them going into, I think, spring ball, that they have the quarterback that they need. Now they can focus on everything else. So
you buying into Vandy? Next year, do you think they fall back down?
I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll, instead of winning, 10 games this year?
With Diego Pavia out there now.
I think they'll win 7 or 8. I mean, they got a tight end that's going to get drafted, a couple linemen. So, and they got a defender that's going to be up there in round 2 or 3. So for them, they lose a lot. I think I like the coach.
I do too.
I like the coach.
It's just funny talking about SEC, like wanting some teams of prominence. It's like we're talking Vandy might be one of those teams.
Well, they'll be consistent now. Look,
yeah.
I mean, if what the team that's really worried about Vandy is Tennessee, because Tennessee, used to run, or everybody used to run rampant over Vandy, and Vandy's kind of plucking everybody off, and started out with that Alabama win, and obviously Tennessee as well. So we shall see. So one more quick text before we move on to Nebraska. Virginia Pirate says the Ole Miss quarterback probably would have gotten drafted this year, right? Yes, that is correct.
I think so, yeah.
If that's true, why didn't he go? I think that might be a small red flag for me if I'm a GM. Well, you look at it like this. It's like, and it's twofold, right? So if I'm advising him and see where he's at, if you're a first-round pick, I think you should go. Maybe even second-round pick. Now, you got to project how much money you're getting to stay there at Ole Miss, which probably is anywhere from $4 to $6 million, maybe even more. Okay, so that's, and you're going to start, you're going to play, who the teammates, and you're pretty much going to win. Versus if you go to the NFL and say you're not a first-round pick, second or third-round pick, and slip, then you're not going to probably play. You're losing value by not playing, and they like their quarterbacks a little bit older, so that your age doesn't really affect you. The only flip side to that, Virginia Pirate, is I would say next year, potentially, at least what you hear right now, the 2027 class seems like every team's going to pick a quarterback in the first round. So the supply and the demand, there's going to be an overabundance of supply next year. Versus this year, I think it would have been Mendoza and a tie between Chambliss and Simpson.
I was going to say Chambliss is up there.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you talk to people after the college football playoffs, it was Mendoza and Chambliss was second, and Simpson was third.
But how many teams are in the first round?
32 teams are
that want to go get a quarterback, at that point in time, and that's the tough part.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's only seems like there's 2. It's either, and so that's where. But I think if Chambliss is go, then you know what, Cleveland sounds like a lot more appealing to him, right? Where Cleveland might not pick a quarterback, and so New York Jets need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of teams that need a quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers included. So with him being in the draft, I think it would have upped that from 2 to 3 and really helped him out. But he's getting well taken care of down there in Ole Miss. They went to bat for him. He wanted to be there. He's kind of been like a 1-year wonder, and so, another good year, he'll be right up there with everybody else. So
making good money. He's probably got his house paid for. He's probably got a car.
He's legendary.
Easy.
He won a couple college football playoff games. He's a legend. He's like Sam Hoiberg in them. Won't have to pay for a cheeseburger for a long, long time. So, anyways, it is spring game week, and we'll do this. The rest of this about the next 4 or 5 minutes for this one. Going into obviously the next segment. Harrison, obviously, spring has moved up drastically this year. It seems like it started about 6 weeks after the bowl game. Nebraska played New Year's Eve night, and so I think you could probably come back to school middle of January. You would know better than me. And then it seemed like almost, the middle to the end of February is when spring ball started. And here we are on the cusp of the spring game, a true spring game where last year they had the Husker games. Our own Terrell Farley was smashing chicken wings. I was like, dude, you're going to have a stomach ache. But he put in work. He represented the ticket well. What are your thoughts on back to a spring game? What do you think it means, and what do you expect for this team coming to 2026?
Well, it's going to be interesting now. In an unfortunate way, I'd imagine attendance is up because there is no Husker basketball game on Saturday anymore.
Right.
What I'm looking for, we talked about, like, obviously you want to see the quarterbacks play. I'm interested in, like, what is the fan engagement? And I think no basketball anymore will spark a little bit of it. But again, like, even though that we're getting closer and closer to it, like, I'll be honest, I see a lot of crickets on social media. So I think it's over 25,000. I said that yesterday. I want to see what the fan engagement is like, but nothing's going to make fans leave that stadium and say everything's all right. We're heading in the right direction.
Right.
You maybe see some flashes that you like, but it's all going to come to what do we look like in November? So my expectations for the season, I think, are, I don't want to get into the wins and losses, but I want to see some progression and definitely go bowling. But this spring game, I'll be honest, Jay, like, there's not a lot that I'm going to walk away with and feel confident. Like, okay, I know this about this team for certain.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing you will see, Harrison, I will tell you, is the offensive line looks a lot different. Now, I keep saying this, the offensive line played better than what people gave credit for it last year.
Yeah.
But they, heavily invested in this offensive line. So that's going to be, a big difference. I think the thing that people look for, everybody always looks at the quarterbacks. You got 3 quarterbacks.
The defense, too.
The defense.
You'll want to see that.
But the quarterbacks are the ones that are going to be up there in the press conference. You got 3 quarterbacks now that all have started a significant amount of time in Power 4 football. Daniel Kalen left Nebraska, went out to Virginia, started, 3 or 4 games. Landra is the Mountain West Player of the Year. So he started at Virginia before that. TJ Lateef, when Dylan got hurt, he started the last 4 or 5 games. And everybody showed potential. Obviously, Calandra is probably the leader in the clubhouse, but that's going to be the overwhelming. What do you see? People will look for maybe the drastic difference between quarterbacks and some of the questions there at other positions. So, like you mentioned, defense. Big Bird says this, and I want your opinion, and I'll give you mine as well. Running back is his biggest question mark. Rightfully so. You just had an All-American once-in-a-lifetime year for Emmett. He was very fortunate to be fed at the volume that he was, to be very successful. Parlay that he's going to get drafted. Of course, that's going to be a question mark moving forward. The first running back since Divine Ezigbo hit over at G was a threat, running the ball and out of the backfield. What's your thoughts on the running back room?
Same spot. A lot of curiosity there. Mosey showed some good flashes, and I know you mentioned, like, really good transition from the wide receiver room to the running back room. I'm still waiting on Ives. They talked so highly on him at one point in time that he was really making headway and becoming one of those dudes. And when he had some reps, felt like it wasn't super impactful, but if you got more than just a few and you were able to keep him in the game, it seems he got better as the game went on, just got more comfortable. I wonder if he has the offseason, maybe in the spring, if you see some stuff that maybe he's got more trust and they give him some more run. Because again, like, when I've seen him hasn't been electric, but the longer he's in those games and the few times he seems to start breaking off some bigger ones. The vision clears up a little bit. I don't know if it's jitters. So I'm waiting for Ives. Like if all that chatter at one point in time in the offseason where they were really talking him up, if that kind of comes back into the mix this year, otherwise I won't be surprised to see if it's Mosey out there. But I do think Ives is still one of my dark horses because they're talked about him again so highly at one point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have options there, right? So it's up to one or two of those guys or all of them to make yourself the answer, right? Where you think you got.
Well, they say Jamal.
You got Nelson,
Mhm.
right? Who obviously showed in the bowl game breakaway speed and kind of been that guy that, like where everybody was talking about him at practice. Dana Holgerson kind of alluded to him. When he first came in, he's like, he showed him something. You saw it against Utah, breakaway speed. Probably needs to just answer the call whether he can handle it physically. Same questions Emmett had, right? Can you handle the Big Ten physically? Then you got Mosey, who I think probably made one of the smoothest transitions from, slot receiver to running back, didn't look out of place, played every single game, was effective at times when he played. But I think Emmett just kind of ate up everybody else's potential reps. He's gotten bigger and stronger according to some of the reports. Then you got Ives, right? If he can stay healthy, he will be in the mix, right?
Mhm.
You talk about what looks like a Big Ten running back, what moves like a Big Ten running back, what looks like at least body-wise, like a next-level running back, it's him. But then you have the freshman under the radar. By the way, Charlotte, North Carolina, Jamal Rule with no relation to Coach Rule. And when the head coach says, or I think either head coach or Dana Holgerson said, he's the best runner out of all of them, I always tell people the easiest position to make an impact from high school to college is running back. See a hole, hit it. And he's doing that.
What does that mean? But like when you say he's the best runner, is he talking about purely his vision?
Probably natural. It just comes natural to him. Very consistent footwork, vision, ability to make people miss, break tackles, and all that. Just naturally, it's like a guy that that can swing the baseball bat. He has a natural swing, like King Griffey. It just looks like a natural. So he can run the ball well. He has for 220 some pounds, really hit the weight room, has breakaway speed. So I think it's going to be interesting who becomes a answer or who are the answers.
I envision not like the room.
I envision all of them playing.
Yeah.
And whoever, decides or, steps up, and then also whoever matches the, I guess, rhythm or offensive scheme that Dana comes up with.
Are you a big believer that you need a bell cow, or can you do it running back by committee?
Well, I think I'm going to say both. I think like when you have Emmett, he can be your bell cow. We've seen Iowa with Jackson a couple years ago. He can be your bell cow. But I think the way it is now, I think you have multiple bell cows. Look at Indiana with him being black. Look at Miami, right? With Fletcher and Brown, right? Excluding Nebraska. Look at Michigan when they won it, right? I think I think if you have two really good running backs, obviously look at Penn State too, with Singleton and Allen and Singleton. I think you need two bell cows. I think that's it.
You see that model in the NFL all the time now.
And it works.
Yeah.
Because they both get their carries, but they're both very effective. And if you're a really good run blocking team and you have guys that can catch out of the backfield, they get plenty of touches. It allows them to think long term about their career, tread on the tires. So I'm all for it. So anyways, we'll take a quick break, come back. We'll talk about that defense that Harrison alluded to. What do we want to see from that? What does Rob Orrick want to see, potentially see? He hasn't spoken. And what might be the talk afterwards after the spring game. Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School. You see a doggy right there on 1040 O Street enjoying the cool breeze. Owner's bopping it there. But got the spring game tomorrow. Covered the offense a little bit. Obviously, everybody's going to want to see the new look defense, the 4-2-5, four-man front. It was a big deal last year. Nebraska played a lot of three-man front or thought they were playing a lot of three-man front. They actually played more four-man front and bare front than people gave them credit for. But they will be majoring in four-man front here with Rob Orich coming from San Diego State. Coach Roy Manning coming from San Diego State. Coach Brown coming from Miami of Ohio, along with Rob Dvorak, Phil Simpson already the holdover, Addison Williams, and I forget the new safeties coach. Came from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Couldn't tell you know better than
but everybody's under the same umbrella. Knows what he wants, and I think one of the things that people, or at least I'm going to look for, is like, okay, I think it's going to be very vanilla. Obviously, with it being on TV, you're not going to be out there showing all your exotic blitzes, but just see how guys play with that four-man front. I think in the four-man front with two regular stacked linebackers, you can play three when you go into like a big nickel and not have to change too much of your coverages because they have flexibility with some of the guys they got in the portal. I just want to see how the guys play the four-man front and see how much more naturally they look as football players, right? Because when you think about Cam Linhart and you think about
Van
Poppel, Williams Nwaneri, and all these guys, they're going to be back in their natural positions, right? The three that I mentioned, they're going to be ends. Van Poppel at either a nose or a three technique.
Mm-hmm.
See what the transfer portal guys go, and then see a little bit of what it could look like to really shore up some of the things that were maybe eyesores, coming down the stretch. Obviously you talk about Penn State, Iowa, Utah, things you want to change. Another thing I want to see, and I want your guys' opinion on the text line. I know it's Friday. Everybody has the Husker hangover after losing to Iowa. We do have a spring game tomorrow. We want to beat Iowa football. It's a big day tomorrow for the football team. Is what the new transfer linebacker or linebackers look like, right? With Foster, who's, everybody said he looked very impressive throughout camp. Owen Chambliss, very impressive, comes with the immense knowledge of the defensive scheme and how much better have those two, along with, Mooberry and all those guys, have made Vincent Shavers. It allowed him to elevate his game, allowed him to play more free, and how they use him because he's very explosive and can make a lot of tackles for loss.
Yeah, the linebacker room was an issue last year, and it's tough when you're running that front. Like there's a lot of responsibility on those guys, and maybe they weren't quite big enough for it. But in this system, you like that you feel a little bit bigger up front and that linebacker room. Obviously, they added some additions through the portal to help them out there. So there's just a lot less pressure, I think, on those guys. There's still that pressure, of course, but their responsibility within this defense, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, it's going to be easier to execute.
It should be easier. I think in a 3-man front, you got to be really, really invested in football to play really good in that 3-man front. You got to be a thumper. That means you got to be strong enough and physical enough and play with immense technique to take on linemen. You got to be excellent in your communication. You got to be excellent in your pre-snap evaluation and obviously making educated guesses. And you got to know the offense inside and out. And that was a little bit different because you have Vincent Shavers was a very young player last year.
Yep.
Watson Trent that came in and it just unfortunately –
yeah, that guy like Ty holding down the front where you could rely on
Nash. You do that the first year, right? It's easier because you got 2 NFL players that were very dominant, older players with Jamari Butler, MJ Sherman. I mean, you had a host of older guys. Now you just like that with those guys going on to the NFL and other places, you went from a very old defensive line in experience to inexperience in a 3-man front, and that's what I think you saw at times play out last year. But I think the linebackers in a 3-man front, if you aren't established, you got to think these guys last year, lost, what was the guy that went to Tampa? He almost made the Pro Bowl. Bullock. John Bullock it was him and Ty for, the defensive MVP. So you lose a very consistent player, your leader there. Watson Trent came in, got a little dinged up a little bit, so you were able to see him at his best. Probably fits a 4-man front a little bit better. So you kind of were always spinning your wheels, and so the 4-man front with the 2 stack linebackers should bode well in depth-wise. I mean, I think you expand your roster because you get guys that were playing out of position, but they're playing in the position, so then you don't have to go re-recruit, transfer portal or high school.
And even some of those younger guys in that linebacker room, like I'm not down on them all. Like, again, I'm criticizing, but last year, I mean, there's times that you want to fill the hole and it's like, hey, buddy, you got a valley that you got to try to fill here. And you're in a mano situation. So it was tough. They didn't always execute, but at times, again, it wasn't set up in situations for the guys to have great chances to succeed when they're going one-on-one with the running back and, they got left and right. They can cut you up and they got space there. So, again, I think just the new system, you add some size there, a little bit more experience, just reduce the size of those holes. The linebacker room will look, I think, significantly better, even if we didn't have a lot of these transfer guys on here.
Yeah, I think when you have a coordinator comes in and he was very successful out there at San Diego State, knows what he wants, has the coaches around that know his language, I think you lessen the learning curve. And so that should allow guys to play freer.
A defense usually comes around a lot quicker than the offense.
Generally, but it's new. So it's actually the opposite right now.
But with the defense like this,
it should be quicker.
It's it's more familiar. Yeah. You've probably seen it. Even if you didn't practice it, you probably went against it.
in high school in some form of fashion. So it should be quicker. But I also think that these guys are, might take some time to come to fruition, but all the language is the same. There was always a little confusion at times according to sources last year. I think Matt Rule said it after the Penn State game, or the Monday afterward. He said there was 8 mental errors in the first 8 plays.
Yeah.
So you want to eliminate that by making it simple, but you also don't want to be predictable. So, you're trying to really get your foundation pieces, built in during the spring. The non-negotiables, as I like to call them, defensively. And then obviously, when you lose Sierra Wright and Buford and those guys that were rotational players, and Sierra was a really good starter, how do they keep taking a step forward? Addison Williams back, so you have Donovan Jones, you got Marshall probably going to start, McDougal at safety, and then everything after that, everything's up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what the spring is for, competition. It'd be interesting to see if you have a defensive back, corner, safety, nickel, or whatever you want to call them, are able to get their hands on a couple balls and really, leap to the forefront, because they are going to be playing a game in some form or fashion. And so, it's obviously not going to be, like a Husker game. It's going to be somewhat of a simulated, condensed game, I'm sure. And I always view this, and I want your opinion on this, Harrison, as a young fan. I look at when I played the spring game was like life or death, because we didn't get any offseason on the field work. You had to live with that for months, right? And guys' spots were won and lost. Now it's the same thing, right? You evaluate how they play in a game because you can start to predict how they would play in a regular game. But I also think it's spring game is kind of a celebration of, like, look what we've done in winter conditioning. This is who we are potentially. This is what the team looks like, especially since the portal is closed. You can really kind of celebrate how far you've came since the season ended, which obviously is in a short time for Nebraska. What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we want to, full circle, go all the way back to Iowa, like if you want to beat Iowa this year, it starts now. And obviously the spring game is a little bit of a celebration to show what you've been working on so far. But, you want to see guys out there competing for spots. Even if it's a scrimmage, there's spots out there that are getting evaluated still.
Right.
So you want to see those guys that maybe if it's not a name that we've mentioned today, some unknown faces, like that's the best thing that kind of come out of these spring games, I feel like, is a guy that no one talked about. And you have to pause for a second and say, who the hell was that? Maybe that's a guy that we can look forward to, and he's showing good progress out there. So I'm excited for it. And I know Sean Callahan got details, and he tweeted what it's going to look like. So it is going to be standard scoring, 15-minute quarters with a running clock, 10-minute halftime. Offense, special teams will wear red. Defense will wear white. So by all means, it sounds like it's going to be a real game.
Yeah.
So there will be things to go out there and look for. And again, what I'm excited for is, I don't want to see, anybody loafing it out there. But I want to see some faces, the ones that we haven't mentioned today. Hopefully some guys stick out that maybe I haven't considered, and I can see some progression in that room.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the only thing that's not going to happen is the quarterback's not going to get hit. You don't need to, hit the quarterback or anything like that.
And I'm okay. There's few things I'm okay with going away from the old school.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm okay with that one. Makes sense. We don't need to hit our quarterback.
The quarterback's the only thing that matters when it comes to it. I think, look, you got, you're playing, you're going to keep score. There's probably going to be some payoff at the end. I think they had some sort of dinner on the line, I think, last year or the year before. So guys should go out there and put out your best effort. Look, if you want to make a name for yourself and go into the offseason with a leg up or make up some ground, go out there in front of 25,000 people or however many people will be there tomorrow and show
I think we're probably good, trending closer to 30,000 plus.
30,000?
Yeah, I think so. Because again, I do think Huskers not playing basketball tomorrow is, it's football season now. We got all of course, the spring sports, but we're at that point where, as much as fans are going to be cracking jokes like, "Did we leave Rule in Oklahoma?" People are going to be fired up.
Yeah,
I mean, it happens every year. Maybe not as fired up as years past, but it'll start to hit the water. Where I think Huskers will hop back on.
It's twofold. I mean, I think I was fortunate enough to play in the spring game like 60, 70,000 people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you talking about some pressure, like really a spring game, getting ready for you got to think, Harrison.
Scott Frost had 80,000, I think,
Yeah,
when he did it.
I came in 94 as a pipsqueak freshman in the fall, right in August. Redshirted, went up against the pipeline, then had to go through winter conditioning. This is all after never really lifting weights, but I got introduced to the weight program. Somehow, some way, ended up starting 7th on the depth chart, worked my way up, ended up being number 1. And then, when we scrimmaged on Saturdays, there was 5 people there. If that. No parents, no nothing. Bring your own energy and bring the pads, right? So I was able to do well. When I tell you I walked out of that freshman locker room, which is North Stadium now, it was the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about almost dropping a deuce in your pants. Hey, man, you ain't supposed to be laughing that hard.
Yeah, man,
Your boy was scared.
A scared Foreman out there.
I wanted to walk.
Foreman.
And I'm starting, though.
Yeah.
Right? So it's different than you get to,
Don't worry, you're going up against the pipeline. You can handle it.
Yeah.
In front of 60,000 plus people.
I went up against the pipeline as a redshirt, and then I went up against the pipeline part 2 the next year, and I'm trying to start and win a spot. And I walked out. I'm just sitting there looking around, and, to be honest with you, a funny story is we used to do these high knees and then sprint a little bit, then you catch a ball, and there were so many people there. And they were like, somebody was yelling. I don't know why they were yelling my name. I looked up and got hit in the face with a football. Hey, I got hit in the face with a football. It came in because I never strapped up my face mask before I started to, start hitting people. Well, I had it up here, hit me in the nose, blood everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is a day from hell. This ain't going to work out well.
We got a kid from a text line, too. He says, we call that yellow socks.
Yeah, it was
when you go out there.
Yeah, it was yellow socks. And
tuck the tail bit.
Yeah, and I was able to, with the blood, I went in there and regathered myself and went out and had a heck of a spring game, and the rest is history. My point is, I was fortunate to always play with 60,000, 70,000 people. Nebraska starts winning. They get back to kind of a traditional game, whatever they can do right now. Obviously, you want everybody to be healthy, but you want them to be physical and more than competitive out there. You don't want to make a mockery of it like the Pro Bowl. You'll start to consistently get more people back. I can tell you that right now, because if you're able to go from the attendance you had last year to 20 plus 30,000 people this year, you're well on your way. Then you're able to put the product on the field. Next year, you're talking about 40, 50,000. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, maybe reminisce about my yellow socks during the break. Let Harrison yell at me or laugh at me a little bit. Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
The wait is over. It's Truck Month at Anderson Ford, which means big selection and even bigger savings on Ford F-150s. Like lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for only $195 per month. The truck that's built to work hard and play hard. Another reason you'll experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008409. Previous service letter. $195 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year, 8,500 with site. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends. Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to see a good amount of sunshine here for our Friday, but a high temperature of only 55 degrees. Breezy with wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour and a red flag warning in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. The wind will lighten up tonight. We'll drop down to 28 for a low. 63 tomorrow, but more fire danger and more wind, but the 80s are going to be back by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Downer for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor at just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Quick segment, Jay Foreman, Harrison, Old School, putting a bow on this week. Once again, Nebraska falling to Iowa 77-71, but a great season nevertheless. We gave a shout-out to the wrestling team. They did really well, third at Nationals. Well on their way being a continued dominant program led by Mark Manning and company. So I always want to tip the hat to them. But right now, you got about 6 minutes before you tune in to Big Ten Plus, Huskers against Indiana, baseball. First pitch going off at 6, or you can take yourself down there, enjoy a nice night at the ballpark, a home game series with Nebraska against Indiana.
Was this on Austin's radar? I know he's a big baseball junkie.
Yeah,
but Nebraska baseball, 19-6, 5-1 in the Big Ten. They've been awesome.
Austin and Nick do a good job of covering not only Nebraska baseball, but they do a really, really good job of the state high school championships. The last 2 years, and I think it might have been 3, but 2 for sure. They really knocked it out of the park, and they covered when Lincoln East won. And then obviously last year as well into the night. So shout out to those two. They're going to get started now that the Huskers are out of the NCAA tournament. And then also on the radio here at 6, you will be listening to Duke against St. John's. Austin Orman against Rick Pitino. The fighting Austin Ormans against Rick Pitino. The Rick Pitino St. John's, whether Red Storm or Hungry against the wine and cheese Blue Devils, coming in with the Boozer Twins and my man Slim Reaper Evans.
He set up when he gets off that flight.
Oh,
final score.
Hey,
it's gonna be.
Listen, Jake had a horrible day. Austin 4 hours in TSA
and Duke lost.
If Duke gets boat race, there we might have to check on Austin. We had to check on them when they played Siena.
Yeah, we did.
The whole text message, the ticket text line. Anybody heard from Austin? You checked on him? I know he was on pins and needles, but we appreciate you listening. Jay Foreman, Harrison, and all the other producers, Nick, and obviously Tristan as well, stepping up this week. We're Old School. We'll holler at you next week.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln?